Good morning, everyone. Something that I would like to share. Many of you know that I am a medium and that I can communicate with people who have passed on and crossed over. And I have a client whose son passed away. He was a teenager, an adolescent, and he was actually murdered. And I was in a session with her yesterday. Something that came through that is really powerful is this idea about grief and emotion, like the depth of feeling that so many of us do not allow ourselves to feel. This woman is an incredible woman. I can't imagine the depth of the pain that she is going through. But what is so inspiring to me is, she's a teacher. She teaches kids about the same age as her son. And what she has started doing is sharing with these children the importance of emotion, the importance of feeling. When somebody goes through a loss like this, that depth, it's one of the most difficult experiences. Grief is that emotion, grief and loss. It's that emotion that can be the most transformative if we allow it to be. If we really allow ourselves to go into the depth of our grief, to surrender into that process. And there are so many layers to it, and there are so many waves of it. When we really allow ourselves to go into that depth, it brings us so close to the veil. Grief can actually take you into inspiration. It is a driver, it's a motivator, it's something that activates us. When we allow grief to move through us, it can bring so much inspiration to us and through us for other people. And that is what this woman is doing, which is so impressive to me. Even in the midst of, she still is struggling so much, but she's teaching these children that it's okay to feel what they feel. And she has them write about, what emotion did you experience today? What emotion did you experience this week? Was there more than one? How did it feel? What was your experience of that? How did you react? How did you respond? She's just having them listen to themselves, inquire into themselves, which I think all school systems need a teacher like this, or more than one. Maybe all teachers need to have this skill, honestly, but I think that schools need to add this to their curriculum, is how to be emotionally healthy. But I teared up so much in our session because of the way she is using that energy, the way she's channeling her grief is so incredible to me. And it really talks about the depth and the power of the human soul and our ability to transform even through the most difficult and the most painful times of our lives. In that, she's sharing her emotion with her students, and she's, letting them see something that's more real and raw. That's exactly what our children need from us. Children nowadays, they actually probably have more access to emotion than the few generations before them. Becoming more emotionally aware as a collective. We are still in an emotional dark age, or we're coming out of the emotional dark age, I should say. But emotion is powerful. Emotion is our compass. And what children need the most, because the children are our future, they need to see us in our raw and vulnerable states, but in a way of that we're moving through it, we're dealing with it, we're processing it. We're not suppressing it, we're not denying it, we're not trying to run away from our emotions, because then we teach children that's the thing you do, which does not create emotionally resilient beings. The emotional foundation is the original foundation. We're primarily emotional beings from the ages of 0 to 8. And so that is our first development. And then around the age of 8, when the frontal lobe of the brain starts to activate, that gives us the ability to rationalize, to make choices, to basically talk ourselves out of being traumatized. because in our primarily emotional state, that is the origin of trauma. So trauma happens really from the ages of 0 to 8. And then everything after that is sort of a mirror or a repeat of that origin. We are learning how to be emotionally healthy or unhealthy beings. Adults who have not learned how to process their emotion or how to work through things and come out the other side are not capable of really showing up for people in their pain and in their depth of grief. When tragedy does happen, those kinds of people will actually avoid facing someone who has gone through something tragic and is in the depths of grief. We don't know how to meet that person where they're at because we never learned. This is so important for us to be willing to face the heaviness of life and move through it with courage and bravery. It's through our emotions that we transform. And when we move those emotions into the heart space, just like the video I posted the other day about how the heart is the place of transformation. It's the bridge between the spirit world and the physical world. So it's when we move our emotion into our heart space, that's how we're going to transmute it. That's how we're going to transform it. But we have to be willing to face the really hard ones. When we resist it, it feels so much worse. And as hard as it is to face it, it actually becomes easier and lighter. There is a sense of relief that we feel when we let ourselves go into the depth of emotion, because you're releasing. Emotion has a cycle, and so it needs to move all the way through in order to be released. And it will only do that if you surrender to it. If we are emotionally healthy as a species, then things like murder may not happen. There's a clip I saw by a spiritual teacher that I follow. The other day, she was saying that the people who are making the biggest impact are the ones who are working with the children, because the children are our future. And I realized that she's absolutely right. And so, like, if I work with a mother, if I work with a father, if I'm working with people who work with children, then I am potentially having a greater impact in that sense. But I don't always work with people who have children or who are even influencing children. But it is the ones who are directly impacting those children who are really determining our future. So it's something to really sit with for all of us. How are you influencing children? And know that children do not learn based on what you tell them. They learn from your example. And if you are processing, even your internal experience is affecting a child, because children are sensitive. They pick everything up and they know when you're being real and genuine and when you're not. Children sense authenticity. And when we tell children that we're not feeling a way that we are feeling, and we might not even be aware that we're feeling it, we are gaslighting them, we're gaslighting ourselves potentially. So I think it's something to really sit with and think about. How are we impacting the children in the world? And how are we impacting the people around us who are impacting children in the world? And what's really cool is that while I was on the call with her, a red-tailed hawk flew down and landed in the tree right outside my window. And that to me just amplified the message, and also felt like the message needed to be shared on a larger platform.